if the vocal sounds right, 3 more dBs. Have you guys played around with that new SoundToys plugin, that reverb? What are your thoughts? I haven't played around. I just installed and did the whole authorization thing. I just haven't installed it yet.
If I had to switch from Pro Tools, it would probably be Studio One.
Yo, what's happening, gentlemen? How you guys doing? Another week, another episode of the MixBuss Confidential. We made it to week 3. I guess it's the turning point. There's no turning back now.
Burn the ships. Burn the ships.
Thanks for watching and joining us from wherever you are. As before we press record, we're just grilling Russ over here because we are riding his coattails of clout. We're global. Thanks, Russ. We're global. OD. And joined by these two gentlemen over here, Russ and Elroy. Yeah, gents, what's happening in the week?
Yeah, it's been a rocky one. Just I wish there were more hours in a day. But good nevertheless. I've gotten to the end of that 18-track album I've been working on. Shout out Native Young. So now the mixes are in. So now it's like that quiet before the storm of notes starts coming back. Like, let's change this, let's change that. But yeah, generally hopeful that it's not too bad.
How many first drafts do you reckon?
I mean, when I started, I started with like 2 tester mixes, so they could see what I could do. And those, as of last check, I think we're up to version 4 of those. So I'm hoping it got better after that, because the feedback has been, as I've been sending, because I've been sending in batches, and I said, let's finish the whole album, then we just start working back on the tracks. And I think the more I've been sending, the more they've been like, okay, this is now getting to a place where, yeah, this sounds good. So
what's happening your week, Bruce?
My side, I've been sick with the flu, so I've been taking it easy, but also busy. Nothing crazy to write home about. Got a new keyboard, so I've just been making beats nonstop. Even now, before this call, I was on a beat. So I'm having fun with that. Yeah, I'm just recovering from flu and enjoying the like you said, we're riding the wave, yo. From Russ.
Stop it, guys.
Leroy with the beats. Hey, guys. Oh, Bruce with the beats. Hey.
You.
Still rusty, but I'm trying to get back to level it was,
Like Rusty, this guy used to be crazy, eh? Like
really
crazy.
Sure. All right, what can't you do, man? You can make beats, you do live sounds, location sound, plays drum. Gosh.
Yeah, the funny thing is that's the whole journey. I started off as what did I start off? Started off as a rapper, and then I needed beats, so I had to started making beats. And then after making beats, I got into a studio. I was like, it was SABC. I was like, oh, this looks so much more fun. Then I started mixing, and it's the mixing side has been more fun than the making beats side. That's why I stuck around here.
Yeah, dude. Yo. And then funny enough, Leroy taught me analog for the first time when I came up. He showed me the analog desk, like an Amica Rembrandt. Like showed us how to patch, how to record that, record to that, patch the patch
that was
with the freaking postman. With the what is the post office jack?
Yeah, I used to call them Bantam Jack. You got it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Analog days, yo. Analog days. Yeah, we went to the same school.
Yeah, we went to the same school in PE.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shout out
Rap. Radioactive. Yeah, Speaking of which, so Russ, did you graduate from Cape Audio and then they absorbed you?
Yeah. So finished in 2018 and then started my internship early 2019. And yeah, was there for some time. Then left for a couple of years and I'm back again, back home.
Were
What a
you in the
G.
same year with Kay? Because
No,
she
so
studied
Kay
journalism,
was,
right?
yes. So Kay was already, I think she had just become permanent staff when I started studying. So when I was first year. So she had probably graduated, I think maybe 2 or 3 years before me.
Oh,
Oh,
I see.
snap. You know, that's how I found out about Russ, actually. I was listening to Kay's stuff and I was like, this is dope. And then I looked at the credits, like who's mixing, and I found some post somewhere on Instagram. I was like, this guy Russ. Then I found out this guy. I was like, this guy's mixes is dope. It was like, yo, let's go.
I
Shout
met
out, shout
him.
out.
We were the only two South Africans in that engineers thing competition
What? Yes.
during COVID. With only two
Yeah.
South Africans there, we're like, yo. And then when Guru was playing people's songs, we're like, hey, yo, shit.
Shit, you from
Yeah, exactly. That's when, yeah,
yeah,
crazy.
Mixed
Um,
Madness. Hey, shout out, sorry, quickly. Shout out
yeah,
to Jason, man. Jason won the
oh
Mixed
yes,
Madness.
Jason
Such a
Juan,
nice
right?
guy, man. And Jason Juan, yeah, and he's been killing it, bro.
But do you know who's been
Like,
really killing it from the competition that I from time to time touch base with is
you
what's
check
the
here.
um Crystal. She's now
Oh,
working with
Mixed by
Lil
Crystal.
Wayne. Yeah, Lil Wayne. She
No
does Wayne
way.
stuff. She was in the studio when they were recording Donda, guest
Bruh.
tracking, and then obviously who's the other Asian lady as well?
K
The
Sound.
Russian K Sound, yeah. K Sound
Bruh, K
engineering.
Sound is crazy
She's
with the
mental.
effect. I've
She's mental.
never,
She's
like,
mental.
her mixes are insane. Like, Leroy, you should check out
K Sound
incredible
engineering.
K Sound Engineering. Go check her
Can
out.
make it
She's
to that.
Yeah. Speaking about checking things out, shout out for the SoundToys freebie, or the
yep.
SoundToys link. Have you guys played around with that new SoundToys plugin, that reverb? What are your thoughts? I haven't played around. I just installed and did the whole authorization thing. I just haven't installed it yet.
I haven't either. Leroy, tell us, bro. How's it sounding?
It's what a trip. What a trip. It's quite trippy, that thing. I like it though. It's got, I don't know where I would use it, but it's pretty cool. Like from off the bat, the first use cases I would imagine it would be great for like intros and outros. I couldn't see a scenario where I could use it on the song, like on a vocal type of thing. But if you want like that trippy, larger than like super massive reverb, but then at the same time it's like reversing and it's delaying and it's morphing at the same time. That's what's happening in that whole plugin. It looks like a small little thing, but it's doing a lot.
Is it similar to there's that Valhalla, there was a
Super
Valhalla one they
massive,
gave
I think.
away, Supermassive, yeah. Is it similar to the
Yeah.
Supermassive?
Supermassive meets add another, what's it called, delay plugin. Like you can say meets H delay, but not really H delay. It's, you have to
Like,
play with it really to get a feel for it. It's like going back to the 80s. That's the tone of the reverb. It's like reverbs from the 80s, but then it's also it's huge. It's like it goes on forever and ever. It'll be
There's
fun. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Because there's this group we're in, and I just asked a question. I was like, which door is best for automation? And people are like, yo, FL. There's one dude in all caps, Studio One. I'm like, bro, why are you shouting? Why are you shouting? I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna download Studio One, but maybe the pressure is making me want to download now. But I'm like, on that, what is your? I mean, I know Leroy is now Logic, but he was Pro Tools. Russ, you Pro Tools. You and I are both Pro Tools.
yeah.
Gun to your head, if you had to move to another door, where'd you move to? Or what's your, yeah, Pro Tools doesn't work anymore. What are you using? Or Logic's not working anymore. What are you using? I mean, Leroy, that's easy because you're gonna say Pro Tools. No, that's not fair. So
No, I'd actually say Ableton.
Ableton.
I really want to
Hey,
get onto Ableton. I really want to
I've
get onto
tried.
Ableton.
It's tough. It's. I don't feel
for
like it's
what?
intuitive
For mixing?
for mixing. For mixing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. For mixing, I think it is quite get used to how it because it's like clip based, I think.
Yeah, the
So
layout is weird, and then if you want to have the mix view, then you must go. Bro, it's the routing. Yeah, because Mike D now does everything in Ableton.
in Ableton.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
yeah. So
Yo,
I think he probably does it for the live shows,
fair enough.
for the seamless integration. Because
fact.
I know a lot of guys that perform, like a lot of MDs, they use Ableton Live, and the time stretching capabilities and the fact you can just basically, and a lot of the software I think also links with it. Your lighting software and also like your presenting software like Pro Presenter, it integrates with Ableton Live very easily.
Interesting.
I think that's probably another reason why. But yeah, it's dope. I used to feel like that the same as you at first. Like, what's this cartoon thing? It looks like it's been drawn on paper, and then I would skip it. And then eventually I played around with it. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. Once you get it, you'll be like, it's the place to be.
Yeah, nah.
Look, for me, Ableton in second year when we were studying, we had to make a song from scratch and you like make the beat, like record the vocals and everything. And I was able to do it in Ableton. I was already a Pro Tools like heavy user
Yeah.
back then, but just like a day in Ableton, I was able to figure out how to recorded the vocals, had a mate come to play acoustic, made this beat. I'm looking for this session file because I was like, man, it's probably trash, but for me it was like an
Gold.
achievement because I made
Yeah.
a song, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I started
Yeah.
on Cubase SX. Is it SX3? Was it SX3? Cubase
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it might have been SX, but it was definitely version 3.
3, and then 4, and then Pro Tools 7.3.
Yeah.
That was,
Gens are aging themselves today.
guys, like, if you don't know the struggle of real time bounce, people take offline bounce for granted.
There's not enough respect for offline
Yeah.
bounce, guys.
When Pro Tools said, was it 11? Yeah, Pro Tools 11. No, offline. Everyone's like, thank God.
That's the way.
Yeah, bro, it was
Yo,
crazy.
if I had to switch from Pro Tools, it would probably be Studio One, just because there is a way to make Studio One behave like Pro Tools. So you can sort of change the keys to work like Pro Tools. So I think that would be the easiest switch up. And they've got like fader port, and all those units that help you with tactile control so you can automate easier. You have access to transport controls. So for that reason, yes, I think Studio One would be my side chick.
Yeah, again, for me, Logic would be the easy choice, but I think I'd probably go. I mean, I've played around with it a bit. Ableton, definitely not FL, definitely not. The routing is ridiculous. It makes no sense to me. Like,
I've got
dragging the, yeah, like you must drag the thing and then
Remember Reason?
Reason. You see now, Reason now. Probably. I mean, I don't even know what it looks like now. It does still exist.
yeah.
Yeah. Is it 12 now?
Crazy.
I think it is. I think they're on version 12 now. If not, it's version 11. I also haven't been to Propeller sites in a long time, but yeah, they're still around.
And I heard, and obviously, a lot of people. There are people that use Reaper.
I've heard
You
good
know,
things. Good things.
you know what I'm gonna say? The Reaper propaganda is crazy. The Reaper glazing is insane, bro. Like, I don't know if it's that good, man. I'm just skeptical about the hype. The hype is just crazy. Every time I say Reaper, everybody's like, bro, have you checked it out? It's like crazy. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, guys, what about Audacity? Let's give it a chance.
Yo, Audacity is lit. So also speaking of Audacity, I don't know if you guys have seen, they're currently working on a DAW. I think it's still in like, what is it? It's not beta, it's not in beta mode, it's alpha mode or something. So it's not out in the public
Yeah.
yet, but they're basically trying to make a DAW for Audacity. Somebody's got a video out on YouTube. I think it's Weaver Beats.
Interesting. We'll try to
He
find it.
talks, he goes
Put on
into it
the
a bit.
links.
Yeah, yeah. It looks pretty sick, and
Audacity
it's
looks
free.
pretty sick. That's something that I've never thought I'd hear in my whole entire life.
I never thought I'd hear that too, man.
Hey yo, we're not. You gotta give props to Audacity. I mean, I'm sure we've all crossed the path of Audacity at one point in our careers. I'm sure.
Of course we have. You
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like,
Come on, yo.
Windows
One
Media.
time too many.
You take your headphone microphone, the earphones mic. You're like speaking to me.
Throwback.
But now, I mean, since we're speaking of the digital side. I mean, like we touched on earlier, we obviously do a lot of not audio. We do a lot of analog. We've done all analog. Like Russ, you've got outboard gear for days there. At Cape Audio, we played around with. I mean, to this day, my second favorite pair of monitors are the NS10. And and number one is the Genelec 1031A. And and then you've got the board, and you've got like we're saying earlier, the Bantam Jacks. You've got you really have to do automation live. In saying that, is analog cheating?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. It is. It is. It is, guys. Like, and anything that you're gonna run through a disk, a proper solid disk,
Yeah.
is just gonna come out on the other side just more musical.
What
So-
disc do you have there? What
So
disc
we
do you
have
run
an
through?
Audient AT24, which is just the EQs on that board are crazy. So it's not an SSL, but man, yeah, it's very transparent. So it's not going to color your sound like a Neve. I prefer that actually. So for me, yeah, if you use like high-end analog equipment, you're cheating because it's it's just gonna do that little bit extra.
What are your thoughts, Mira?
The cheat code. I don't know if I'd call it cheating per se, but to a certain extent it is, because using analog is the cheat code to getting that. It unlocks that other world, and it's so hard to describe. But it's just that thing. It's that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys see? I don't think it's I don't think it's cheating. I think it's enhancement.
Ah.
It's
That's like
utilizing
saying
the
money
tools you have.
laundering. That's like saying money laundering is not a crime; it's a hustle.
That's funny. But I mean, there's that flip. I need to try find it now. There's this company in the States, I think, or wherever they are, that you can send them their audio, and then they run it through. Then they'll print it through outboard gear. Obviously at a fee.
Access analog.
Access analog, yeah.
Yeah.
Nina mixed it. That's where the first time I saw it. Nina mixed it. She was a avid fan of it, and then I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna spend like 30-40 euros just to have a tracker run through, because now you must still charge your client back here to send your mix. And who's gonna pay 30 euros or $50 for just, and then they're gonna say, can we try it again? Can you tweak this? That's your whole budget gone.
You're gonna have to make changes. They've They've definitely, I think it depends on the unit, obviously, but they've lowered the price. It's like $6 for some of them for 30 minutes, but gonna take you 30 minutes to dial it in. So you're probably
Exactly.
gonna need a few more $6. So it will get to 40, yeah.
Not get there. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I think yeah, but that's why I say like obviously these emulations, and that's why people will go to a UAD. They'll prefer UAD emulations, warm audio with the microphones and the outboard gear, and they are more affordable than trying to buy a 1073. What was that British company, BAE, right? BAE, they also do like knockoff Neve.
Yeah.
And Behringer 2 is in the game now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. They're coming in fast and hot. They already have a 1073 remake. And then what else did they got? They started off with the Moogs and the synthesizers, and then they now into the outboard gear.
Thanks to Midas, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
what? Speaking of outboard gear, Russ, just chat to us about your headphone amp.
Okay, so the Topping L50 is the headphone amp that I use. The thing with headphones and headphone mixing is the power is the thing that limits the performance of a headphone, particularly in how well it brings out the low end. And as you know, that's the main limit with headphone mixing. So a headphone amp, a dedicated headphone amp, not the one that comes with, many of the affordable audio interfaces that we use. A dedicated one is able to give you that power that you need. And I've noticed that ever since I started using the headphone amp or a dedicated headphone amp, just how I can hear low end, particularly like the sub lows, just clearer, even with closed back headphones for me has been such a drastic improvement. And I can see why, a lot of people will say, if you want to do headphone mixing professionally, then you definitely need to get a headphone amp. That's because the headphone amp built into your Audient or your Focusrite is just an afterthought. And if you look at the size, I mean, we'll post a picture of my L50. It's about the size of the Focusrite 2i2, for example. So if a headphone amp is about the same size as the interface, then think about what is the size actually of the headphone amp in your little 2i2 or your little
Yeah.
Audient interface.
And then, so you would say, would you suggest that people would rather invest in a headphone amp and not necessarily like, I mean, if you have the money for ODs, then you might as well, but rather headphone amp and use what you have now as opposed to
E-
trying to save 100,000 Rand for headphones?
Look, if you can get both, that would be great. I would say yes. I would say maybe the first investment should be a headphone amp. And then maybe look at some nice planar magnetics. Audisies are obviously the Rolls Royce of headphones, but there are some alternatives. So I've been dabbling into the Chi-Fi or the China hi-fi market quite a bit.
Hi-Fi.
The Chi-Fi, yeah, that's what it's called. And we see a lot of Haval, Jeku, and Jator now on our roads. So I was like, let me also check out what's happening. And guys, look, the Chinese are cooking, man. Like,
It's fair
that's
point.
all I can say. Like, the Chinese are
Fair
cooking and
point.
it's affordable. The stuff is like really affordable. So, yeah, I would say headphone amp, and then you'd need a DAC, digital to analog converter. That also comes as a standalone device, so you can get that as a standalone, and that's just responsible for the conversion. So from the digital signal in your DAW to analog signal that is going to play back on your speakers or headphones. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's
first thing you
that's
learn
the
in school, right?
investment.
ADDA.
Yeah.
ADC, DAC.
Yeah, flip. Um, but okay, so now, right? I guess it kind of works as a segue, right?
Mm.
Um, you're investing in your equipment, you're investing in plugins, right? Um, what, like, do you guys take that into account when you charge for your mixes? And should there or is there a going rate for, let's say, mixes and masters? Because obviously I haven't seen that if there's like a standardized price or this is the industry rate. Haven't come across that, but what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'll take this one. I think for me, it goes from project to project and budget to budget. So there's no flat fee or flat rate. Um, I think I would do what I sometimes do, depending on the budget, will determine sort of where we can play or work. So if there's a big budget, then I can book a studio and get some access to analog gear like Russ does. Otherwise, if the budget is small, and then I guess I'm mixing in the box and then I'm using plugins. And then in some situations that I've been in, if we need a specific sound or a specific plugin, then I'll just let the artist know we need to pay this amount for the plugin, and then they'll pay for it, and then we use and then move from there. Like with regards to like industry standard, yeah, it's not that easy. It's not out there that this is the industry standard, because everybody's got their own different prices, and I'm sure it's got different reasons. Some guys have their own studio. They've got gear that they've been collecting all their lives, so it also makes sense, I guess.
So
So
would you then suggest what per track, per project? Obviously, like I said, there's different rates, or you project by project. So for instance, the way that I sometimes approach it is I'll go, if it's a project and what's your budget, okay, cool, let's see. If you come with a 6-track EP or album, then we can maybe find a discount. But singles, mix and master will have a rate, and obviously it will work out if you want to just, because I need to obviously cover, let's say, that Pro Tools for the month, because or that plugin reactivate a license for plugin, those kind of things.
yeah,
Yeah, no, billing is, yeah, it's always tricky. I always wonder how people arrive at different prices. I mean, for me, I'm also similar to Leroy, like per project. Each project requires, something different. It depends on how many tracks is it, is it like 150 track mix that I need to try and make space for everything? Or is it dry and you're expecting me to like build it up and create the palette or for the sound? So yeah, I would say, per project, if I were to be pushed for a flat fee, I would definitely have one that I would say maybe is a starting point, and then we can sort of see what else do you need to be done, and charge for things like vocal tuning separately. Like I used to just do that as part of the fee, but now I'm like, nah, you want tuning? It's gonna cost you this
And
extra.
are you tuning with Melodyne?
Yeah, Melodyne, particularly with Melodyne, because then that you can go in and you can really enhance each note. I'm not gonna charge you for using autotune or metatune. Like it's
Yeah.
doing it automatically. But yeah,
Your two, and if it's a 2-track, let's say 2-track beat with, let's say they have a lead, ad lib,
Mhm,
and a
mhm.
backing, is that on the cheaper side?
I would think
Ye-
so. Go ahead, Leroy.
you no, I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna agree. Usually it tends to be like that, or because also I'm spending less time, so I don't have to book the studio for the full day. I can just book it for half a day now, so it does bring the cost down quite a bit. Yeah.
And turnaround time, if they want a quicker turnaround time, you'll obviously charge for that, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are your guys' standard? Let's say revert like first. Okay, send you the track now. Send you the tracks. We agree on a price. We agree on everything. When can I receive the first draft or first mix?
I normally give them like a 48. I promise a 48 turnaround time, but then I do it within 24 hours. Because sometimes you never know what might happen in the day. Maybe I get sick or who knows. And then I have to spend another day working on it. So I always say you'll get it back in 48 hours, but 9 times out of 10, it's done in 24 hours. And then we basically going back and forth what needs to be tweaked, what do they like or whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
likewise. 72 for me, just to be safe. Because
Yeah.
I've got a full 9 to 5 as well. So in case I don't get to it in the day, then I have to massage my wife's feet at night and ask for. I'm kidding. And I'd have to work at it at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I love that, Leroy, because then you under promise and then you over deliver, you know?
Yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah, I'm also on the 72 tip, and then yeah, it's more often than not it's earlier. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
also on the 72. I'm like, and then how many free revisions do you give? And then what's the percentage for if they go beyond those free revisions?
I do 3. I see Leroy's got 2
It
fingers.
looked like two
I
fingers.
do I do 2 free revisions. And then after that it's a flat $150 per revision.
Per revision.
Because the reason why I price it like that is because the more detailed feedback you give me, the more quicker we can get to the solution or the resolution. So rather than saying I like the reverb or I don't like the reverb, and then I do the change, and then like okay the delay's a bit, and now I'm going back and forth over and over. So it was mainly just to get proper and clear feedback between myself and the client.
Yeah, for me it's 3, and then 25% of the fee per above that.
Off the fee. I'm a bit more steeper with the revision. So I do 3, and then it's $400 per revision after. This is why, because
Yeah.
I've been burnt with like version 9, 10, and it's like, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
So if we can't get it in the first 3, then maybe there's actually something that we're fundamentally not getting each other on, and let's get
100%.
back to the drawing board. Yeah.
I like the way you put it. That's actually legit.
That's a very fair
Yeah.
point. There's a comment from Rhythm Don on YouTube. Oh, see, riding Russ's clout.
Shout out.
So he said, gentlemen, essentially we've spoken about this, but when you charge the mainstream artists for work, do you ever get paid in splits, or is it just cash? And if it's record label work, who briefs you? Is it the artist or the label reps? Thanks for that question, by the way. I'll give it to these esteemed colleagues.
Hey, shout out Rhythm, man. That's the homie right there. Leroy, I think you take this one, bro. You probably have more experience than me with this.
Let's see. Most of the time I'm dealing with the artist. Sometimes it's been the producer, so then I would take notes from the producer. And with regards to getting splits, not for engineering, not for mixing, only for production, really. I'm trying to think what else has happened. Yeah, I'll deal with the artist, and then the artist deals with the label, or they'll give them the feedback, and I'll get the feedback from the label via the artist. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make the artist happy and the producer happy. It's essentially their baby. It's their piece of art that we're trying to bring to life. So I need to make sure they're happy 100%. It's been very, 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 very few times that I've had to deal with a label Just trying to think or remember. It's not that much, eh?
Yeah, I think splits is something that would be. I mean, because in the industry talk is what 1 point, as they call it, 1 point or whatever, 1 or 2 points. I think
Mhm.
as you grow, as you gain experience, I think it's only fair that labels should consider that, or even artists. Even if you, because at the end of the day, I feel that when you're mixing, there is a level of production that you do, because I mean, it's like, even if it's not, like for instance, when you were saying the live record that you were mixing, Russ, you
Yeah.
had like drum replacement and getting the right sound that fit
Yeah.
that specific or environment. You can't just
Mhm.
put a 808 or a TR 909 sample, because then it might
Yeah.
not work. So those kind of things, that because that's production. And
Yeah.
I think it's only fair that like for me, I enjoy breaks in when I'm mixing. Like, I love finding a way to just putting a break in, and
Mm.
that's a production element. That's production. That's producing.
True.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do think we need
No,
splits.
we do. And Jason Joshua will talk about these things because he's Jason, obviously.
Yeah,
But even at this, where we work in this industry, in this reality, we are sometimes, I should really start doing, you know what we should start doing, guys? We should start doing videos where you play the before you mixed it, and then you play the after. And then you'll be like, now tell me that I didn't add production value to this thing, you know? So it's really not about, and if anybody, any label exec or A&R is watching this, like, I'm never going to hire these three. It's not about the, it's not about chasing the recognition. It's just about acknowledging somebody's contribution to the track. And really, sometimes we take a song from really where a level where it needs a lot of help, and then we get it to a place where, okay, cool, now it's getting somewhere and it competes.
yeah,
So there has to be some sort of standard split or percentage and inclusion for engineers. You know, we need to start like with the crediting. It starts there. Let's create space to credit engineers accurately, and then let's create space for the splits.
yeah. And funny enough, I think with what's this place called, with Muso
Mm,
AI. If you
yeah.
can, try claim your profile if you have credits.
It's-
I'm struggling. They're like, yeah, we can't verify it's you, so we're rejecting your claim. I'm like, so I need to
What?
be emailing them. So I'm gonna try email them now. I literally saw, after we chatted about Muso, I was like, hold on, let me go check.
it's a claim.
And my profile's not claimed. And they're like, nope, rejecting. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think those things are important, and we need to do what we can, because again, those are business cards, right? Um,
Yeah.
so, but yeah,
And we have to get better at admin. I think as creatives, admin is like a nightmare. But that's the key, that's the key to
Yeah.
getting this recognition, getting the payments and all those things. So
yeah,
we also need to just make sure we sharpen up, get registered to these bodies,
yeah,
the publishing houses and stuff, and just get that right so that
yeah.
you have a leg to stand on.
Exactly. And for freelance work, I know obviously there's engineers. Have you guys
Mhm.
ever heard of Sound Better? So
No.
I'm on
Yeah.
Sound Better. Funny, and after our first episode, someone reached out, and I don't know if it's coincidental, but this was my first query on Sound Better, because it was just some profile I set up, forgot about it, and
Mhm.
then during COVID, I think, then literally last week, someone's like, I'd be keen to work with you. I'm like, shout out, here's the fee. If you're happy, come through.
Let's do it.
So soundbetter.com is another one. Obviously, Engineers is
Yep.
another one.
Plug.
What's another one? I don't know how I feel about Fiverr and
Upwork.
Don't know how I feel about
Mm.
those.
Yeah, the others are a bit weird. Do you guys have active profiles on Engineers?
Active is
I just
active is the
the tricky word.
yeah. I saw the email the other day and said, yeah, finalize your profile because
You too.
Okay.
yeah, I signed
You
up
got that.
when they started, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, you want for me to get to a point, I must subscribe. Nah, dog.
But do you remember when we did Mix Madness and the whole thing was the top 32 would get verified on
Yes.
Engineers, like off rip,
Yeah.
and that never happened. Like, I don't know, did you get verified? I
No.
never.
They got verified and they were like,
Yeah.
Atmos training, free Atmos training.
For the top 32, yeah,
Never, nothing.
never got that. Yeah,
Admin guys. See, it's not just us. Admin is it.
Admin Charles, everyone.
Admin.
This afternoon on my way home, right? Because we're gonna go into our mix of the. Oh yeah, let's go mix of the week. On my way home, I was listening to one of my favorite albums of all time, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and it reminded me of a glitch that I heard in one of the mixes, and that mix was like that mix. I literally that mix is great. It's a great song, but you can hear this glitch. You can definitely hear the glitch. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the glitch. Let me play it quick, and hopefully we don't get a copyright strike. But let's quickly see. Okay, here we go.
Middle finger in the air if you don't really care.
Did you guys hear that?
I know you. I know you are. Yeah.
Do you
Now
hear
remember,
that?
you tweeted Mike Dean.
And he responded.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like he spotted it, but they did. I think it was too late or something along the lines, and they're like, yeah, let's left it like that little.
Yes, the little cut.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but now, yeah, it was a mistake. Obviously, we all make those mistakes, and you just gotta leave it. And also it doesn't. But there's also a thing where it could be a mistake, but it just feels right. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes in going back to that thing we're speaking about rawness of tracks and all those kind of things, but it's like if it feels right, but then at the same time can be jarring. It's a talking point.
Talking point, man.
It's a talking point.
Like Mike Dean, bruh.
Mike Dean. His vocals are stupid loud. Or maybe he said, if the vocal sounds right, 3 more dBs. Put it up 3 more dBs.
And it's right.
Then it's right.
That's it.
What are your Drence's mix of the week?
A reincarnated Kendrick Lamar, GNX. Man, that track. I think every Kendrick album that he's released, there's that one song that always just resonates on a deep level with me. And for the new one, it's definitely reincarnated. I wasn't feeling GNX when it came out, but wow, it's grown on me over the last week or so.
GNX is dope.
That's hella dope. And for me, I'm gonna go a little bit left. So I'm low key. I've been a Swiftie since 1989.
Yes, 1989 Swiftie.
Swiftie.
And it was mainly because of the mixing and the mastering. Just the way how they get that I don't know how else I can call it. It's like a wall of sound where everything is just bam in your face, but you can hear I can hear the backings, I can hear the individual backings, the layers, I can hear the lead clearly, the instruments and the reverbs on top of all of that. So I've always been fascinated with how they got to that level. So I've always been sort of like chasing that element, so trying to bring that element into my style of mixing. So my mix of the week was the song. Now I had it put. I did my homework. I got the credits and everything.
Yeah.
So my song was "I Did Something Bad" by Taylor Swift from Reputation, that album. So I've been jamming that one for the past few weeks as well, enjoying the mixing and the mastering a lot. Mix on that one is Serban,
Serban, obviously it's Serban.
and mastering.
Obviously.
Yeah, come on, yeah. And then the mastering is Randy. Is it Merrill or Morel? Merrill
Andy Merrill, guys.
from Sterling Sound.
Can I do a quick
And
flex
come to
here?
find, when I looked up at his website, a lot of the work that I use for references, he's mastered.
It's Randy.
A lot of the albums. So that's my mix of the week. I'd say I recommend you go check it out. Just have a listen.
So
Flex.
speaking of Randy,
I think my Wi-Fi is cutting out.
Hey, personally sent you
He
that.
personally sent me a Sterling Sound
Jeez.
cap with the letter that I keep framed, that he's like, "Hey man, thanks for love."
That's fine.
It's actually insane. So a friend of mine goes to the same church as Randy in New York.
Oh wow.
And he sent me I think at the last one of the Grammy Awards 2 years ago, he was like, "Hey, do you know this guy Randy? I go to church with him." I'm like, "Do I know Randy Merrill Sterling?" "Yes, I know who Randy is." And I was like, "Tell him I'm a huge fan." And then when he came back, he came with the cap. So shout out Randy.
That's dope.
Stuff.
My track of the week is "Fix You" by Coldplay, mixed by the amazing Michael Brower with Keith Gary and Will Hensley, mastered by Chris Athens, George Marino, and Adam Ayan, or Ayan, whatever. But yeah, man, those Michael Brower is, and I mean, just that song, obviously the way he plays with the vocals, and again, the reverb is there, but it's not muddy, doesn't take up a lot of space. It sounds ethereal, but yeah,
That's good.
those are my plugins. I mean, that's my mix of the week.
That's your mix of the week.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael. I forgot I didn't mention the mixer for that Kendrick track. It's Ollie Jacobs, who I've not heard of before.
Yeah.
At this point. And the mastering engineer is, I'm probably gonna butcher this. It's Rueri O'Flaherty. Don't know. Yeah, so new guys on the block. Killing it though, because the album sounds incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's good to see that also he doesn't stick with one mix, with Ali did To Pimp a Butterfly, excuse me, and obviously Section 80 before, and I think he did Good Kid as well, right?
He did Good Kid as well, yeah.
And then switch it up when Damn and Mr. Morale, because I don't think Ali did Mr. Morale.
I don't think he did Mr. Morale, and probably was on, I think Damn was probably the last one, I would say.
Yeah. But now it's dope, man. And then
before you move on,
yeah,
let me also click it properly. So it was mixed by Serban Gania and John Haynes. Those are the two mixing engineers.
Yeah, you can't mention Serban without John Haynes. Yeah. Those two are like hand in glove, man.
Yeah. Have you guys ever teamed up on a mix with anyone?
Yeah, with K.
How was that?
Teaming up on a mix is great, man, because then you lean on different strengths. So for things like drums and just the instrumental in general, K is a whiz, and then vocals are my thing. So yeah, we're just able to split that load and then merge the sessions together, and then yeah, good to go.
It's dope. Yeah, I would be keen. I mean, like your guys' ears are probably the other only other ears I trust that I could send stuff to for feedback or thoughts and commentary before sending to an artist. But I mean, and I
Yeah,
think that's essentially the whole thing of this, right?
this guy's letting
Yeah.
things slide under the radar.
Who?
Remember we mixed I Funny, and then we went to the music video shoot.
Oh, Shake.
It's Shake.
Shake.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You guys did shake?
Shake.
Yeah. The night, yeah, we were at
Oh,
at the
PV.
studio.
no,
From
don't you even dare. Don't you dare
Beatbox
try to
Studio.
sweep this. No,
Big
don't try to
Box
sweep this
Studio.
under the rug.
Beatbox Studio.
Guys, you guys did shake? That's crazy.
Beatbox Studio. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
Playing
time.
it, I'll
2012,
shake,
2013.
shake.
Yeah, fun time.
If you look closely, you can see Leroy in the video.
But shake, I'm definitely gonna go watch it again. That was like one of my favorite songs. I was in high school back then.
Yeah.
So
Jeez. And we
Yeah.
did the
Crazy.
video straight from the studio, ne? Yeah.
Yeah,
Straight
straight from the studio, yeah.
to the video shoot. No sleep.
No sleep, running on coffee,
Yo,
and I don't
Red
know
Bull.
what. Red Bull,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, no, that was a long day. But it was dope. Yeah, Leroy introduced me to iFunny.
sure.
What's your plugin of the week, gents?
MetaTune, Slate. I feel like
Hey.
I'm riding Slate
Slate.
hard these days. MetaTune, man, because it's not autotune, but it's autotune. But yeah, it does what autotune does, and it saved me from just tends to respond to things. I hope this doesn't go viral one day. But autotune needs to just sell autotune. I'm not personally, I'm not interested in all the other stuff. I just want autotune on its own. But then
Yeah.
now we're forced to pay for everything else when you just want
Just the
autotune.
one, yeah.
So, yeah, just a note. But now I'm on Slate, so they've lost me as a potential client.
Yeah.
For you guys?
I'm close. Well, not close, but Ovox Waves. Ovox Waves. It's essentially it's like Isotope's vocal synth, but not as, I guess, detailed, because obviously vocal synth is insane. But Waves' Ovox also pretty decent. The things you can do with it, you can get creative. If you're trying to get the Bon Iver sound, there's a preset there that will help you get on your way. So Ovox for me is pretty cool, especially on vocals. I've even used it for radio promos, like those effects and stuff. So I've used that. There've been times I've used it for promos on radio, not just music.
Nice. Shout out Waves.
Shout out Waves. It's like digital. Mine's really easy.
SSL?
For sure. Nah, for sure. I was gonna say you take a step outside and just breathe in, but
Fresh Air is a great plugin.
Fresh Air.
Air is the secret, guys.
Yes.
Yo.
It's a great plugin.
Man, just that mid air. That mid air does something with the throat.
Yeah.
It's just Fresh Air is mine.
Speaks for itself, I guess. Yeah, you guys know what it is. Yeah.
Speaks for itself. Yeah, man, James, this was fire. Russ, when we can we expect a little MixBuss overview?
Let's have a look at your MixBuss.
I'm so embarrassed to share, because after I've seen Leroy's one and how plain and straightforward it is, and it sounds great, I'm like, what am I doing? Filling up every slot, and it probably makes it worse. But soon, so we'll do something this week. I'm just asking permission for a really special track, so If I get the go ahead, then we'll do that.
Dope, man. But yeah, man, I think we've been chatting and we can keep going forever. But yeah, Russ, take us home.
Perfecto, guys. Thank you so much for tuning. Thank you both for your time and expertise. I can't believe you guys tried to just shove it under the rug that you guys did Shake. That's crazy. Shake was a monumental song in SA hip hop. Anywho, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. We are MixBuss Confidential, the platform that exists for like-minded audio individuals who love all things audio. And yeah, we will be back again soon with another episode. Hit us up in the comments. The comments is not just my mates. Don't listen to these guys. Hit us up in the comments below. Questions, tips. We want to hear from you, and we also want to hear your mixes. So let's definitely get some of your mixes coming through as well. So hit us up in the comments, and we'll get back to you, and we'll set up a listen with the gents and give you some feedback. If you want to be anonymous, that's cool too. We can do that. So until next time, we out.